So last thing I like to do is to get your income in there to show how it compares over time, and also just talk a little bit about cost of living adjustments to your income, if any. And so let's pick a number. Well, they say that you should spend a quarter to a third of your income at most on housing, and so let's say our annual home ownership cost of the mortgage is 14,000, and you know, let's say what, 3 times that is almost 45,000, so that's a third. So 4 times that is almost 60. So let's say, just for argument's sake, we've managed to get this mortgage with an income of 50,000 starting out with. Okay, and we're just going to put in our income over time here, right? Now, so we'll use a COLA, which is a cost of living adjustment. All right, and let's say for argument's sake it's 2%. We'll just put 2.0% there. Okay, and so the first year is going to be equal to D27, that cell there, and again we're going to put dollar signs around the D. Okay, really the next cell is the one I want to apply the cost of living adjustment to. Hopefully your income is going up each year. So equals this cell, again put dollar signs around it. Okay, and then multiply it by parenthesis. So multiplies that star sign, obviously. 1 plus this percentage, and I'm going to put dollar signs around that as well because I wanted to always call that throughout the rows. Close parenthesis, and to the power of this cell up here, to the power of 1. Okay, C31, right? And then press enter. Okay, so increase of 2%, 2% of 50,000 is 1,000, and so that worked. And now I'm going to grab the little predictor plus sign and move across to the right, and I got $52,020 the next year, right? So that's D27 times 1 plus D28 to the power of 2, D31, so that worked. And now I'm going to move this all the way across. Well, let's just check the next year. 53,060, that looks right, and again it used this number for the exponent on the compound formula again, right? So I'm going to use the little plus sign for predictor, move it all the way across, all the way to the end, when you're 81 years of age in this case. And of course you can do anything you want with these things, change the numbers any way you like. Okay. And by, you know, with all the cost of living adjustments, look how your income would change over time. If it was the cost of living adjustment of 2% each year, you know, by age 81 you're eventually making 137,000. Why is this number ridiculous? Because hopefully you're not working at age 81. Hopefully you're retiring at around 65 or so. Hopefully, or around there, before there, not too far after there, and there's your income up to about 100,000 a year. Okay, that's with a cost of living adjustment of 2% a year. Now, oftentimes it doesn't keep up with the housing inflation costs, which causes a lot of problems. So let's just say for fun, if this COLA was 0, put 0 in, press enter, and look what happens to the income. I'm just going to put that in bold. It stays at 50,000 each year. If the COLA was 1%, that's how much it increases. At age 65, you'd have about 70,000 a year, and so on. So we'll put it back to 2 or even 2.5 or something like that, right? So hopefully it's not going down. That's also possible. Okay, so because we took this row with our graphing, it should show up in the graph now, and it does. and this is the income in gray, right? And this kind of shows what chunk of your income you're spending on housing throughout the years. And of course, apologize, I'm not going to go into if you want to make personalize this, you can come up with different numbers for after you've stopped working. Obviously your income's not going to continue, but probably won't continue to go up at that rate after you've stopped working. Oftentimes it doesn't. So you can play with this any way you like. And so, but I haven't bothered with that part. But in any case, it just shows it just shows you the chunk of your income is going on housing. And again, the blue is the mortgage, the orange is the rent, and then we can play with these numbers for different scenarios. So we'll just move this down a little bit so we can play with the income part. So what happens if you start out with an income of 40,000 and it increases at 2% a year? Then things look like this. And eventually you really appreciate owning that house, probably in this situation anyway. But again, you know, the other thing to think about is, well, what if you get a loan and all of a sudden you become unemployed or whatnot and you can't pay it back? Well, that, you know, that's not fun either. It's not fun getting foreclosed, and eventually if you can't pay the loan back, you could be taken out of your Social Security or whatever. So I guess the whole point is, if you get a mortgage, just make sure you can pay it back over time. That's the trick, right? So there you go.